Yamo, Harry, prepare the equipment. Beast wandered off somewheres. We got to lure it back. And who might you be?
Funny. About to ask you the same.
They call us the Reavers.
Reavers? Wouldn't happen to hail from Crinfrid, would you?
Aye, we do. But how's it you know? And again, who the hell are you?
The Reavers are mercenaries from the region of Crinfrid, located in Hangforce within the Hangforce League, in the northern part of the Northern Realms. In contrast to most mercenary groups, this group is specialized in hunting down dragons and draconoids. They hunted down 3 red dragons, 1 black dragon, and killed all the draco lizards and forktails within Redania, proving their effectiveness. The group was mainly active within the second half of the 13th century and consisted at first out of 3 people: Gar, Kenneth, and their leader, Boholt. They became famous throughout the north and eventually joined Nidemir of Caingorn on the hunt for the dragon Mirta Braka in the canyons near the city-state of Bearfield. Geralt was well aware of who they were and respected their skill in hunting down dragon-like creatures. During a later point of this hunt, Boholt injured his head after the golden dragon spooked his horse, causing it to throw Boholt off, who lost his helmet in the fall and hit his head on a rock. Boholt became unable to lead the group, but he was still able to fight like a beast. This resulted in Gar and Kenneth, who was also known under the nickname Beanpole, to recruit new Reavers. In 1271 they took a first apprentice, called New Boy. And a few years later, in 1275, they had entire bands of men, like the one Geralt encounters in Toussaint, who were hunting down the Silver Basilisk. The Reavers live on the money they earn from killing these beasts. However, like witchers, they aren't rich, living from contract to contract. One thing you have to keep in mind with the Reavers is they are still mercenaries and not knight errants. They fight dirty but effective. And they would have no problem raping women, almost including Yennefer, whom they tied up and tore up her blouse.
I mean, we all got a little riled, but those are bygones, as I see it.
We'd have set you free. The sorceress too. Boholt was just fooling about the raping and all.
What rape?
Shut your trap, Desperate. The Witcher don't remember. Waste of words to remind him. We're old mates, that's that.
So you'd have raped this old mate?
Just the sorceress. You were there to kill the dragon, the sorceress too. The peasants wanted at it, everyone did. But there was only one prize, and we argued. There was some commotion, a regular rumble in fact. We tied you up like hogs, meaning you and the sorceress, and went after the beast. But that dragon thrashed us so hard, we spent the next half year licking our wounds. And you done freed yourselves of your bonds.
Who was the sorceress?
Raven-haired she was. Remember her name, Desperate?
Conifer or some such. So, willing to help some old friends, Witcher?
Boholt groped her and told her he would come back for her after they had killed the dragon. Shortly after, however, was the moment when Boholt got injured and hit his head, which besides losing his leadership, also resulted in him losing his taste for women. However, some days Boholt would be the old him for a short while, before the brain damage he sustained kicked back in. Yennefer, Geralt and Dandelion got captured by them just after Geralt tried to save Doragore, who wanted them to spare the dragon, which they had no intention of doing. After villain Tretramirth won the fight, he asked Yarp and Sigrin to help the Reavers recover. After half a year, they finally recovered from their injuries. A number of years later, in 1271, they joined Foltest at the siege of the Lavalette castle, because they were in lack of coin, at which point they started training some new recruits, like New Boy. During the time before the battle, they came across a group of novice priestesses while they were out on patrol. At the shrine where the priestesses were, Gar and Kenneth wanted to have the priestesses all to themselves, in the way of probably raping them. However, Boholt, in a moment of clairvoyance, told them to look around the shrine for valuables instead. On their way back to camp, they came across a group of Scoia'tael and the dragon, Sacentesis, daughter of the golden dragon and the green dragon they were after many years ago. The Reavers, along with a few scouts, managed to escape and run back to camp. Here they met with Geralt and apologized for what Boholt wanted to do to Yennefer all those years ago. The Reavers were fighting on the front line, and depending on Geralt's choices, New Boy could live or die, depending on the advice Geralt gives him. After the siege and during the Third Northern War, they continued to hunt down dragons all over the north, and even dispatched a group of 4 hunters to Toussaint to hunt the last silver basilisk. Geralt met them here once again. However, this time none of the original 3 members were present. The 4 hunters, however, had heard of Geralt and what happened while hunting down the golden dragon. When choosing to kill or spare the beast, it doesn't affect Geralt's standing with the Reavers. They get their gold anyway, and part with Geralt on good terms. It does however matter in terms of prices with the merchants, depending on your choices. The Reavers have a very distinguishable look from the normal mercenaries. They do not wear regular armor. Instead, they show their torso with all the tattoos they all have on them, along with all their muscles. An exception to this is New Boy. However, he was still in training and could eventually look more like them. They mainly use large crossbows when fighting, and heavy axes or large and big swords to kill their targets, as big beasts take large weapons to kill if you're not a Witcher. In The Witcher 2, you can see the 3 Reavers in the camp. However, Boholt can't be seen. He was, however, present. This can be deducted from what they say, because if you pay attention to what they say, because they talk about Boholt being with them on patrol, and the patrol took place probably like the morning before it happened, or the morning before, or the day before, because Triss talks to Geralt about the scouts patrol having returned. That was the end of this video. If you want more Witcher lore, like the video and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Suggestions are always welcome in the comments. Till the next video. Bye.